Are you worried about your upcoming TE exams? Haven't finished your portions yet? Here we are. Welcome to IGNOU Mitra's YouTube channel. Today, we are going to have a session on the topic how to score 60 plus marks in the upcoming TE with the success mantra of IGNOU Mitra. Let's start this IGNOU journey together. Are you ready? In this session, we shall be discussing some strategies that will help you boost your score with minimum contents. This will be helpful for both, that is, those who have already given the examination in the previous years and those who are yet to appear for the exam this year. First of all, let me ask you a question. When you get a question for the examination, what will you think first? Will you try to memorize what you have learned? Or will you try to frame new answers according to the needs and demands of the question? I can hear most of you saying writing what you know, right? That has become a very old method and it is no more going to fetch you marks. In this video, I am going to help you with some strategies which helps you to structure your answer in a manner that will augment your marks and will please your examiner. Let's start. First of all, I will give you a general understanding of all these strategies, and in the later course of this video, you can watch live solving of the previous year question paper using these strategies. First one, it is to read the question very thoroughly and understand what the question is about and what it intends to convey to the student as well as the expectations of the examiner. Next comes the directives. You might be wondering what is directives. I'll tell you. Directives are some kind of words that are used along with the question to express what it intends or what it expects from you as a learner. I'll say a few examples. It includes words like describe, evaluate, elaborate, etc. Third one, identify the parts. A question will include certain parts which needs to be addressed while answering the question. So, we will deal with this one in the later half of the video, very detailed manner. Fourth one is introduction. It is the beginning of the answer. In this part, your aim shall be to impress the examiner. As you all know, first impression is the best impression. Fifth one, it is the most important one. That is the body part, which is going to fetch you the maximum marks in the question. The body parts can be divided into several subheadings. I'll tell you. The first one is heading. In the body part of the question, you have to always give relevant heading which is in link with the question and its demands. So, next comes the subheading. Subheading means you should always give proper subheading so that the examiner never loses the flow in the reading your answers. Next comes keywords. Keywords are something that will give an image to the examiner that you are aware of that particular subject and you are having some know-how of that particular area. Next is examples. Examples are inevitable part of your answer. Especially if you are writing public administration question or something from history, you can call events. In case of public administration, you can call contemporary schemes of the government or initiatives, e-governance initiatives, etc., which is going to fetch you more marks than your opponent. Next comes figurative representation. Imagine an examiner always reading the same kind of answers from all the students. Will he or she get bored? Yeah, definitely will. This is another way to get rid of that boredom for the examiner. Always try to bring in some kind of figures. You can say Venn diagrams, graphs, or like pie charts or flow charts to your answer. Because when everyone writes the same answer, it is like always having the same content, same facts, same points, and it brings in a kind of boredom to the examiner. So when you bring these images or diagrams to your answer, it will be more enriched and chances are more that you get higher marks than your opponent candidate. So, the sixth part and the last part is conclusion. That is how you are going to end the question. The part which is going to end the question, we call it conclusion. Conclusion can be done in several ways. To list a few, I would say you can conclude your answer by saying the significance of the matter that you are talking about, or else you can talk about the relevance of the matter, like contemporary relevance. If anything you are writing, example, you are writing about Supreme Court, you can quote for any Supreme Court judgments which have been passed recently. So another aspect is like link with the question. You can conclude your answer by linking it with the first part of the question or the second part of the question, whatever it may be. At last, if the question asks you for an analytical angle, you can even conclude your answer by taking an analytical stance, which always gives a very good impression to your examiner and will definitely going to fetch you very good marks. Now, by using all these strategies, I am going to show you how to write a perfect answer using a previous year question of IGNOU. Wait. Before that, I have something for the future IGNOU examinations. We at IGNOU Mitra are providing quality online education classes for all the UG programs of IGNOU. Presently, the admission for Jan 2023 session is open and you can find the Telegram channel link in the description of this video. Let's move on to the question. This question has been asked in the subject VPAC 133, that is Administration at Union Levels, in the last TE, that is TE June 2022. The question says, explain the concept, constitutional provisions and features of the Administrative Tribunal. Okay, as everyone knows, this question has been asked from the chapter Administrative Tribunal, that is chapter number 9 in your study material. This question has been asked for 20 marks. So let's see how we are going to solve this question with our structure. What did you understand? Let's see. Firstly, we are going to identify the directives of the question. That is, in this question, the directive is to explain. Explain means you are supposed to elaborate the idea or what is being asked in the question. In this question, they have asked us to explain the concept, constitutional provisions and features of the Administrative Tribunal. So, as I have said earlier, to explain means you have elaborated the ideas of this, what is asked in the question. Some other directives include describe. Describe means same thing. You have to elaborate the idea. Analyze means in that you have to give your personal touch to the answer, which means you should have an analytical mindset and you should analyze the question and you should have some your own views expressed in the answer. So next comes elaborate. Elaborate is simply just you have to just elaborate what is given in the question. Substantiating with like examples, you can do that, or with the views of eminent personalities, you can do that. That will suffice the situation. So next comes discuss. Discuss is something different. When you are asked to discuss something, you have to write the pros and cons of that particular subject. So it is like if you are writing about Supreme Court jurisdiction or something like that, you should always go for an analytical mindset and give the differences, like what if it is going like this or what if it is not going like this. You should have such differentiation in a discuss type question if asked. Now we can identify the parts. This question has got 3 parts. I will tell you what are it is. First is the concept. Second comes constitutional provisions. And third is features of the Administrative Tribunal. So as soon as you get the question, try to identify these 3 parts. And make sure you are writing the parts according to the demands of the question and marks allocated to that particular question. Next comes the introductory part, which is the opening part of your answer, which needs to be very impressive and must be aimed to seek the attention of the evaluator. So, let me explain the introduction. Introduction can be done using different ways. Say, you can either define the concept which is being asked in the question, or you can quote somebody, some eminent persons while answering the introduction, or you can just describe some views of some eminent personalities. You can link the question asked with some relevant current events, or it can have some historical background. That too can be brought into the introduction of a question. So, in this question, see, the introduction can be done using the word Administrative Tribunal. We can elaborate the Administrative Tribunal. See, the example is given in the slide. Tribunal is a quasi-judicial institution set up for speedy law-course justice and to reduce judicial overburden. So it explicitly manifests the purpose for which tribunals are being set up. Okay, see the next type of introduction I have given. Tribunal comes into existence by an executive order, but later got constitutional recognition by the 42nd Amendment Act of 1976, which is the historical background of this administrative tribunal. So, like this, you can give any type of introduction, but it should have some connect with what is being asked in the question, and it should always be it should be cognizant with what the demands of the question should be. Okay. Next is body parts. This is going to be the most important part of the question, which is going to fetch you the maximum marks. So always make sure you make it very impressive, very interesting, and it should always catch your eyes and attraction of the evaluator. So let's have a look at it. In body parts, you should always have to give proper headings, subheadings, etc. Let's have a look at it. In this question, I told you there are three parts to this question. It is concept, constitutional provisions, and features of the tribunal. So it is twin essentially. You should address all these three parts to get the maximum marks for this question. So never lose or never miss out any parts of this question. In case you lose, you will also lose your marks. Okay. So let's come back to the body parts. In body parts, you have to give a brief introduction. Before body part, you have to give a brief introduction, and from the introduction, you are navigating to the body part. First, give a proper heading about what you are going to write in the body parts. In this question, for example, I have given the concept of administrative tribunal as the main heading. Okay, that is going to be the heading of my answer. Under that heading, give a proper heading and give an underline. Okay, below that, you are supposed to write what is the concept of that administrative tribunal. If you have learned that material, you would be knowing that is a bare minimum knowledge. It is being set up for administrative adjudication, which means it is being set up for settling matters which is related to administration or disputes which arises from the arena of administration. Okay, make sure you always give examples, because examples are going to fetch you more and more marks. Next, see the second part of the question I have addressed with another heading, constitutional provision. Okay, second heading, constitutional provision. For constitutional provisions, in order to represent that idea to the examiner, I am not going to be very verbose, I am not going to keep on writing the answer. I have just used a diagram there. See that diagram? Constitutional provision, it is constitutionally the idea of tribunals are mentioned in part 14a. Part 14a of the Constitution consists of two articles, that is 323a and 323b, which I have clearly mentioned in my Venn diagram. And 323a mentions about the administrative tribunal, which comprises both central administrative tribunal and state administrative tribunal. And in the next part, that is 323b, which includes any other type of tribunal. It can be income tax appellate tribunal, like film censoring tribunal, etc., etc. It can be anything. Okay, so from this Venn diagram itself or the flowchart itself, the examiner has got an idea that the student knows something. So this impression is going to fetch you good marks. My third heading in this question will be features of administrative tribunal. So in this I will be listing down the prominent features of the administrative tribunal firstly. Then comes only in the secondary level I will be mentioning the less prominent points. Here I have listed a few. See, it has all the powers of a court, like it can inspect, it can discard, like taking evidence, everything it can do. The last part of your answer is conclusion. That is the ending part of the question. This part is very important because whatever you write on the top of the answer, whatever prominent points you give, if you are not giving a very good conclusion, if you are not giving a very positive oriented conclusion, it is not going to fetch you marks. So let's see how you can give a positive conclusion. In this question, in the question we are discussing, it is asking about administrative tribunal. So I have taken an analytical stance in my conclusion. The main problem associated with the administrative tribunal is administrative complexities. Like we have already set up the tribunal to reduce the judicial overburden. But still now we have not been able to achieve that. So that issue I have projected in the conclusion. Remedial actions has to be put in place to ensure an effective judicial mechanism and to get rid of this overly burdened judiciary so that everyone gets access to justice and everyone's grievances are redressed at the earliest in our country. So this is going to be a very positive and forward-looking conclusion, and it is definitely going to be like different from what others write, and it will definitely fetch you very, very good marks. Further, I would like to add up some tips as well. Always try to underline the prominent points that you give in your answer. It can catch the sight of the examiner and can fetch you good marks. Further, try to give headlines using red pen. Only red pen, I repeat only red pen because no other colors are allowed. You can evidently see it from the test booklet instructions. It is clearly given there that red pens can be used for headlines. No other color should be used. Okay, to add up, we are going to upload the model answers of different subjects and different questions which have been asked in the previous years in our Telegram channel, and the link for the same is in the description. Please do subscribe. If you are interested in this framework, we are there for you to help you orient your studies in this manner. We are going to start our January 2023 batch very soon, and admissions are open now. If you are interested, please do join our Telegram channel at IGNOU Mitra 22, and for any queries and clarifications, do connect with our team at Team IGNOU Mitra. Thanking you for watching this video and wishing you all the best for your exams.